All right, guys, it's just 5 minutes or I think 20 minutes to the start of the final. I think everyone is excited. We are good to go. So I have a few folks here who just want to go through the game. On my side, I have Olu. I have also Mimiko. I have Daniel. I'm sure everyone is excited, looking forward to the game. It starts in about 20 25 minutes. Hopefully, Nigeria is able to bring it home again. So I'll start with Olumide. What are your thoughts in terms of this game? Do you think Nigeria can go all the way in this game?
Thanks, Toby. Yeah, I think we started a good chance. History has our back. Obviously, it's been quite a journey from when we started from the group stage. I think no one expected us to get to no one gave us a chance. So I would say we have good history there, and I think we have the quality of players to actually help us bring the cup back home.
Okay, so you talk about history. So you know that the last time Nigeria won AFCON was in 2013, and it was a game or a team where they were written off, and this is the same thing playing out now. This team at the beginning was written off. Nobody gave them a chance to go all the way. Now they are in the finals, right? Do you think they would still win the trophy?
You hit the nail right on the head there. Yeah, back in 2013, you're absolutely right. No one gave, no one saw it coming. But I do feel like we do have better quality players than we had in 2013. Obviously,
everybody can do that.
well, it's subjective, right? Yes, yeah, it's subjective, right? So this is, my own point of view. I do feel we have quality players. I think our defense line, as we've seen, is quite solid. Obviously, we have Africa's best player, striking for us, most expensive. And obviously, Lukman has been the discovery of this, tournament for the Nigerian side. So I do believe that we have what it takes to bring it back home.
Okay, so let me just, I think one of the major things, right, we've seen in this tournament is the growth. I feel like the team have been able to effectively bond, taking out individual brilliance and just coming together to play as a team. And that's why we've been able to have the solid backline, being able to be compact, being able to pass the ball around, and everybody is literally fighting for themselves. So for me personally, I feel like there's no better time to be a Nigerian than now, especially when it comes to like football and sports. I think now is the time for us we have everything it takes to go all the way. So for me, I'm super excited. Just 20 more minutes to go into the game.
Yeah. So I know Olu made mention of the fact that we have the best attack, right? Starting off with Victor Osimhen. But in this tournament, actually, I think the major strength that we've had, and I'm sure you guys can agree, is the fact that our defense has been very strong. Mimiko, you also can agree with that. And this team has only considered just one goal in open play, right? So do you think the success of this team can be attributed to that solid defense that's been aided by Trustekong?
I think it's a collective effort. Tactically, the coach did his part. We playing three back line has really helped Nigeria. The first game was very, very shaky at the back, but since we moved to the three back line, with two wing back, that's really, really helped us a lot. You can see his leadership qualities, AFCON leadership qualities is very, very important, which is vital for a national team.
When even Umeru comes in,
yes. So the leadership quality is there. He's a true leader, and with his experience, this is not his first AFCON, so he was able, to bring the team together, to make them, strong and difficult to break down. Though the midfield see out like one or two errors they concede against South Africa, we can see the South Africa using their pass to break the lines. But I hope the coach has learned his mistake, and moving forward, I hope we can show that energy, because this AFCON is all about determination and desire. The boys have showed their mentality when
and the same thing for the Ivory Coast team. They are running on passion.
Yeah, and I'm still coming to the Ivory Coast. I'm still coming to them. But it's Nigeria for now. Yeah, their desire right now is top notch, and that is what we want in Nigerian football, with the willingness, like the will to do the right thing. So hopefully, going forward after this tournament, I hope the NFA or the NFF, can give us what we want.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think you were spot on there. So let's go to the game. The game starts in about 15 minutes, right? Olu, I'm going to start with you. We've seen the lineup. There's a change there. There's Chukwueze there. Against all expectations, people were expecting to see Simon Moses, but we have Chukwueze. Do you think that's a tactical change, or what would you have to say about that?
Yeah, I do have a fundamental problem with with that lineup, with Chukwueze, I must say. If you look at, starting with the Ivory Coast sort of lineup, they've made 3 changes up front and a change in the midfield, right? If you're going to the finals, you don't want to come in predictable.
So maybe that's why he did that.
Well, it's you sort of look at the style of play and the way we played against Ivory Coast as well. They're not saying yes. It was a 1-0 victory over Ivory Coast, but they were also not an easy team, right? And you have Sangare. We don't have him in the midfield. We had him up front initially, and then you have Allah as well. Coming into top strike for them. So I do not know if, like you rightly said, it might be a game tactic, but it's probably one that I don't sort of agree with because I feel like Simon's strength with regards to running up front and pulling back.
Chukwueze wouldn't give you that.
Chukwueze wouldn't give you that. Yes, he's a top player, plays for AC Milan and all that, but
they are not showing us what.
Exactly. African football is is different from European football. So I feel like we will miss Simon's energy. But like you rightly said, it might be that Simon comes in towards the tail end of the first half or early second half, and then he uses his energy to sort of overrun the defense line. But yes, I do have a problem with the sort of lineup. But I think otherwise, Zaidu is back, which is good, and we have Aina also playing from the right hand side. So I think no surprises there apart from the Chukwueze element.
So you're okay with
every other thing looks good, I would say. Obviously, we have Lukman still, making that starting lineup, also supporting Osimhen. I do believe that Osimhen will probably land 1 or 2 goals in this game.
Osimhen. So I'll come to you, Daniel. So do you see Osimhen scoring in this game?
Well, to be honest, right, and I think just to buttress Olumide's point before I even go on, I think we've come down to who wants it more now. That's
they want time
because let's be honest, Ivory Coast have risen against all odds. Everybody thought they were going to go out in the group stage, right? So they've been able to muster the support that they lost from their country. Remember, we're playing against the 12th man, which is the fans. They have the numbers. Obviously, a lot of Nigerian fans are flown in to Abidjan to watch the match, but it will come down to basically who wants it more. And I think one of the greatest things about the Nigerian team is it's not even about Osimhen being the top striker, on the continent. It's who wants it more, who can put in that 110% for the team. And I think Osimhen has even said it, a couple of times. He doesn't really need to get the goals, but we see the work he's putting in. We see the penalties that he's gotten. We see the assists that he's gotten. We see the way he puts pressure on the back line. I always say that any defender that plays against Osimhen will need a massage after the game,
100%.
because he would disturb you. The whole back four are definitely, going to be in shambles after the game. So for me, I don't really care if he scores or not. What I need is for us to go there, give that 110%, and come out with the gold medal. Not just for the team, but for us as a nation. I think we really need this.
Let's do it again. Yeah. So I'm going to come to you, Mimiko. Right. So if you look at the starting lineup, are you comfortable with the starting lineup?
Yeah, obviously. This is the starting lineup we used against them the first time we beat them. Yeah. So it's exactly the same thing. I don't know why the coach did it, but there's always a reason for everything. But if you are looking at it tactically, Chukwueze probably operates more in the midfield for the Eagles. I think he's better in the midfield.
But I'm struggling to find Chukwueze's best assets.
The
dribbling. Will you say he's a good dribbler? That doesn't hold water these days.
Yes.
I feel he's a very cheeky. Sorry, man. I feel he's a very cheeky midfielder, right? So he can create something out of nothing, and maybe give 1 or 2 of those decisive passes. We saw it in the last game when he gave Lukman.
Yeah, but it didn't lead to anything.
But look, he had a clear one-on-one. He could have buried the ball, and that would have been an assist to him. For me, I think the only place we'll really miss Simon in this game is because of the defense. Because Simon tracks back. He gives that defense backline a boost. But what I would say is the coach has brought us here. The coach knows.
Let's trust him.
We have plotted so many formations that should have been, but even when we saw Zaidu out in the last game, a lot of people were criticizing him, in the quarterfinals, and he was out in the last game. But in the first half,
but we missed him. We missed him in the last game.
Yeah. We saw what he does in the team. So for me, I would say the coach has brought us this far. And I think I trust his judgment. He's bought my trust, to be honest.
Yeah, so Daniel talked on Zaidu Sanusi, right? I'm going to come to you. So prior to that game, before the last game, right, a lot of conversations have been around Zaidu Sanusi, his final ball, his delivery when he goes on the attack. But in the last game, when Olajuwon played from that position, we saw that we are actually missing Zaidu Sanusi because he was always very good in the defense. So do you think him coming back now is going to give us some stability in the defense?
Yes, so I think for me personally, the greatest discovery of this tournament has been the combination of Zaidu and Calvin Bassey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the coach is absolutely right to be playing those two people. And yes, Seydou is as we've always discussed, is a very good defender. But obviously, there's conversations to be had about, the way he finishes his ball and his delivery and all that. So I think starting up Seydou in this game is the absolute right decision, particularly now that we have someone like Chukwueze in the game. You're going to need to sort of compensate for, So again, there might be something that the coach Boseri is up to there, and like you rightly said, Daniel, he probably has thought about it, and let's believe in what the decision he's made.
And again, coming to Moses Simon, I think Moses Simon is a very, very direct player and easily very, very predictable. Yeah. You understand? So I think that might be a key reason again for them to put him on the bench, and we need someone that is going to come with energy if things are going wrong. We know what he can do. We know his attributes. We know his best qualities. So I think it could be a joker at the end of the day. Coming in with Inacho, they are going to give us something different. You understand? So that could be a tactical move again. But nevertheless, the coach knows the best. We are not in the camp right now. We don't know what he's doing or what transpired in the training ground or what they are about to do. But I believe in the first 30 minutes, we are going to have a final decision about what is going on and why he did that.
Okay. So before I take your predictions, guys, right? So you made mention of jokers, right? I remember back in 1994 when we won the AFCON, right? We had a certain Emmanuel Amuki who was the joker. He came in and scored a decisive goal for us and won the African Footballer of the Year from there. Also, if you go back to 2013, it was the same Sondemba who was the joker in the finals. Going into this game, do you see any joker? I'm going to ask the three of you. Who do you think is going to be the joker for this game? I'll start with you, Olu.
Terry Murphy.
From the bench?
Yes. So I see, again, to sort of echo what Daniel already said, I think one thing we've seen in this tournament is the sportsmanship spirit. Everyone, was looking to Osimhen to deliver probably 9-10 goals, throughout this tournament. But we've actually seen that Osimhen has been more of a distraction and has opened the doors for other players. So what I potentially see here is Osimhen doing the same thing, being a distraction, but maybe not. Even though I know I already said he was going to, bang in at least 2 goals, but there's also a world where he just carries on with what he's been doing, become a distraction depending on the game tempo. For instance, if we're sort of desperate to, landing goals, I see Terry Murphy probably coming up front to pair with Osimhen, and that can be a sort of decisive moment for the team, I think.
What about you?
I think Inacho.
Okay.
Inacho is going to be a great joker, or someone that is going to impact so much in the game due to his experience and knowledge and understanding of the game. Do you understand? This is not his first AFCON. She grab. So second AFCON. So and he's been with the team for a long period of time. He understands African football so much, and he knows what to do at the right time. So I think Inacho is going to be a great joker.
So how about you, Daniel? Before we go into predictions.
Yeah, for me, right, Lookman is my man, to be honest. Lookman is my man. Tested, proven, 3 goals in the AFCON. He's been that instrumental factor. I think one of the major things that we should watch out for is the midfield of Ivory Coast, right? They have world-class players in Fofana, in Kessie, Sangare. We know that the midfield is going to be compact. But what Lookman can do is he can find those pockets. He can run behind the defenders. And if he has somebody like Osimhen that can give hold-up play, like create assist for him, create something out of nothing, I feel like Lookman is the person that's going to give us that differential in this game.
So Lookman is your joker.
That's my joker.
So final take, predictions. I'll start with you, Olumide. Your predictions for this game?
2-1.
2-1 Nigeria. Oh, Ivory Coast. Be clear.
2-1 Nigeria.
How about you, Mimiko?
Honestly, I think it's going to go probably into penalty. Draw 1-1, 90 minutes. Then probably extra time we can win 2-1.
How about you, Daniel?
I hope it doesn't go into extra time or penalties, because I think at that stage, tactics goes out the door, and it's just who wants it more, right? So if I'm going to go with my instinct, I'll say 1-0 regulation.
1-0 Nigeria?
1-0 Nigeria,
okay, all right. Okay, the match starts, I think, in about 5 minutes. So we're excited to see the AFCON final. One of a kind. So we'll see you guys again at halftime.
See you at halftime.
Let's go, Eagles!
guys. Wow, Nigeria is winning 1-0. What an interesting turnout of things during the game. So we scored from a corner kick, from a set play, from a set piece. Our captain has scored again. I think he's the highest goal scoring defender in this competition. So what do you guys think? I see the Cote d'Ivoire team playing really well, and we're just trying to catch up with them. Our midfield is empty. We're just playing over the midfield from defense forward, and I don't know. What do you guys think? Olu, let me start with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, yes, obviously, we have a goal. That's good, but I still think there are fundamental issues that we need to resolve. As we said at the onset of the game, Chukwueze is not, kicking it for us. I think he's putting a lot of work on Aino. So I'll hopefully see Simon come in the second half to pick up the pace in that wing, and obviously we can have him fluctuate between the left and the right. And I think we just need to sort of this is not the end, and hopefully we don't come back with a defensive type of game. I think we should go for more goals, and I think if we pick up the pace, I think it will be a good turnout.
Thanks, Olu. I agree with you. I think the best way to defend will be to attack in this kind of game. This is a final, so everyone should be in on it. So I think if we can keep up the pace and manage the situation, we can come out with a win in this tournament.
Just to come in on Olu's point, I think, as he said, I don't know, the starting of Chukwueze has proven to be, just as we said, in the show before we started the game, I don't think it's been the best decision so far, right? Also, I think we've lost the battle of the midfield, if we're going to be very honest. Kese and Fofana have been playing fantastic. We've had so many misplaced passes in the midfield. We've been okay in terms of pressing, but in terms of connecting those passes across from the defense to the midfield, we found ourselves playing a lot of long balls, found ourselves playing a lot of passes, that are going away. So I think one of the first things that we need to do is we need to sort out that wing and reduce the pressure on Aino, probably bring Moses in, who can run that flank, help in the defense, as well as, come into the midfield. And I think the coach needs to speak. If we need to look at Yusuf as an option for Iwobi, maybe we should start looking at it, because we have a lot of misplaced passes in the midfield, so we need to sort out this. Ivory Coast are very, very notorious for scoring late goals. This is not the end. We need to play like we're still playing 0-0, so we don't have issues down the line.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. So, Mimiko, what do you think about the game?
Yeah, from the beginning, I said this captain has brought a lot to this team. He has really given us a lot. His leadership qualities, his desire for the game. And if you watch AFCON from the beginning, like the top teams have gone home just because of the hunger, desire for the game. So, tactics, yes, but the hunger for the game and the desire, collective effort is really helping us right now. We know we are going to lose the midfield. They have like 3 strong midfielders, Kese, Sangare, and the other guy. So hopefully, the coach is going to do the needful second half, which is bringing someone to help Olaino, because they have 2 deadly wingers who can come in and can pull out across. So hopefully, Pasero does the right thing. Thank you.
Yeah, true. It's down to the coaching. So before I go to Ahmed, I'm going to ask Ahmed a different question. Ahmed, what do you think about the officiating of the game? We've had Osimhen being called out for so many 50-50 tackles, and I don't really know. What do you think about the officiating?
Well, I think finals are difficult to officiate. Let me get that out of the way. But the referee has not so far managed the game as much as I expect him to. In all honesty, I don't want to say he's partial, but he's getting some decisions wrong, and that's a cause for concern. But from a tactical point of view, I think that we have executed the game as best as we should. And I don't believe that we should go out and attack just to oppose 2 of my men. I think that the coach knows what he's doing. It's a tournament, it's a final. You conserve your energy, allow the opponent play, you hit them where you need to hit them, and you rest until the 90 minutes. So for me, we have done what we need to do. Yes, Chukwueze is playing below par, but we can always replace Chukwueze. But tactically, we're sound, we're waiting. This is all we have done this tournament. Wait, the opportunity comes and we take the kill. And we have done that perfectly well.
Very good, Ahmed. And I agree with you. Throughout the tournament, we've had the lowest possession in most of our games, but we've come out winning most of them, conceding 0 goals, just 1 in open play. So let's see what the second half gives us. It was nice having this chat during this halftime period, and we hope to win the tournament and come back to celebrate at the end of the day. Yeah, let's be positive, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. just start talking.
How do you feel about the match?
Man, it's not good. I don't feel good. Like I said, right from the start of the match, I was looking at the midfield there and I could see a flaw. Apparently, I was just talking with a mate of mine and he said, like, that's how we're set up. That's how the tactics is set up. That it's 5-2, 5-4, 5-3-2 or whatever the formation is. But I think we're playing against a solid team, which gave another perspective to it because people are going to say like the South African game was tough, but with this game we're playing with two solid midfielders. KC, these are international footballers. We have so much exposure, and I think we should have adjusted a bit. We could see right from the get-go, we didn't even create. Throughout the matches, we didn't create. Our goal came from a set kick. We didn't create chances. We have a striker up front, solid strikers, solid attackers, but there was no ball going to the front. All we were doing was getting the ball, soaking the pressure, and that's where we got today.
I disagree with you on whether they're solid strikers and attackers. We're playing a game of luck. Simple and simple.
That's another way
because
to
it's
look
like,
at
why there was no time. The ball possession was bad.
Yeah.
Right. The ball possession was bad. There was no time they were holding the ball at all.
Which is same thing I'm
so
saying.
you see these guys. The next thing they'll just tip the ball,
Straight to the
fire
strike,
the ball.
like,
It's like
that's the only-
there was no way in which these guys would take the ball to go and score. They couldn't walk. You can't trap ball. You can't walk with the ball. It's just Osimhen that was in
They're
the
not creating chances,
goalpost.
basically.
They were not creating chances. Nothing. There was even when they were losing, when they were winning, they were still not. You hold the ball, you take
Yes,
it,
like
and
you're
shoot
winning,
it.
you should
It's like
control the game,
there was no
like,
ball possession.
no
I mean, if you
control,
don't have
like.
ball possession, what do you want to do? How can you win? You can't win. So it's like
Yeah,
they were
it's a
playing
shame,
rubbish.
like, it's a
Like
shame,
they
it's a
were
shame.
playing like. They were playing rubbish, total rubbish.
Yeah,
Are we ready?
people are around to
10 minutes.
yeah, but let me capture people.
10 minutes. Are we ready?
Yes, the game ended. Nigeria lost the finals. Ivory Coast won against all odds. People were not expecting, every one of us here. I think we predicted that they were going to win. Nigeria was going to win, but at the end of the day, it's football. Football happens. I know everyone is angry. You want to rant, so I'm going to start with Daniel here. You look like you even want to cry. So tell us, what do you think about the game?
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
If I should put it in one word, I'm very disappointed in the team.
Okay.
I was expecting, just like the other games, we would keep a clean sheet, hopefully. But we kept on soaking up the pressure, trying to catch them on the counter, try to send the ball over the midfield to our strikers for a counter and hopefully get a goal or at least maintain our clean sheet to an extent, but we couldn't do that. The Cote d'Ivoire team came at us with all they had, with all their firepower. They had Hala fit. He was not fit in the group stages, so they had a target man fit, and they kept on trying to feed him with forgetting the name of the winger that was on the left wing, who kept on giving Adira, yeah, kept on giving Aino a hard time, and he took advantage of him. And I think the two goals came from the first one, a corner from that wing, and the second one was an assist from the guy. So I'm really disappointed in the team, but I think we got to the final, so that's an accolade. We have a medal to take home, even if it's not gold.
Yeah, it's silver, gold and silver. They're going to call it. So I'm going to start with you, Daniel. Right, for the goal the Ivorian scored, right, the goal Alex scored. Would you blame Chustekon for that?
In all honesty, that was the striker's finish. Kudos to Sebastian Haller. He finished that ball fantastic. The only thing Ekon might have done better is to have seen the pass on time and been in front of him, not letting him poach that leg out. But in terms of doing anything, reacting after, the pass had been made, it would have been a penalty. The first question is, we should not have let that ball go in.
So would you blame Ola enough for that?
Yes, let's be honest. That ball was Aino's fault. You should not let the winger come in front of you with the ball. He was almost in the box when he crossed the ball. It's just ridiculous in terms of how we approach this game, right? We said it from the South African game. We saw it. We were dominated. We lost the battle of the midfield in that game, and we still did not build on the mistakes that we made in that game. Same thing here as well. We lost the battle of the midfield. Again, we said it in the first half. They were playing us, passing the ball around the midfield. We could not string 2 or 3 passes across. Instead, we were relying on long balls that was going nowhere. We have 1 point man, which is Osimhen. I feel he was overworked in this game. He's just one player. Play the ball out of the back, pass from the midfield. If not, there was no true pass that went to Osimhen. How do you expect him to finish? To be honest, we relied on one thing so far in this competition, which is the strong defense that we had. But even the strongest, asset you ever have. Sometimes it breaks. So they let us down today, and we could see all the holes in the defense. If you have a strong defense, you need a midfield to at least soak pressure. There was a lot of spaces in the midfield, and that's why we were conceding a lot of shots from the midfield. So in all honesty, I feel like the strategy from day one, right, especially coming into this final, was flawed.
Yeah, so Daniel spoke about the midfield being the problem, as well as he also spoke about the defense. I'm going to come to you, Lou. Would you blame this loss on the midfielders? It will be, or you just think it was their variance day?
The game of football is always a 50-50 thing. I like to take it from. I have 3 points that I think I'd like to sort of highlight. So the first thing is, I think fatigue set in. I think the players were exhausted. You have top-notch players like Olaino, who usually at like 90% all the games, right? And I sort of thought Olaino was a bit.
He played 90 minutes.
He played 90 minutes, yeah. So I think that's the first thing. And I think there was also in my opinion, a tactical error from the coach. I think we lost 60 minutes of opportunity to score by starting Chukwueze. I think Chukwueze was the biggest mistake we made in that lineup. And I can say that confidently because, obviously we had lots of chances that you could. I mean, there was a time where we couldn't even have built up a sort of a steady passing, up onto the front line. It was just basically lifting the balls, and so it's just, that didn't work. And then obviously our midfield collapsed completely. There was no, Iwobi was also slack, and it was just a game of, and that's why I did predict 2-1, obviously in favor of Nigeria. But in favor because it's the finals, right? Once you obviously the Ivorians are quite good to sort of certain extent, and obviously whoever scores on top, whether it's us or them, wins the game, and that's what happened. So I would definitely blame it on the midfield. I would say, yeah.
So I'll come to you, Ahmed. Do you share his opinion? Do you think this is purely the responsibility or the problem with the midfield?
I think football is a game of two halves. Tactically, if you start out to execute a tactics, you have to play it over two halves. We played it very well in the first half, but in the second half, we thought maybe we had it in the bag, and everybody went to sleep. You could see the concentration was more on being aggressive at the opponent, Nwabali trying to, So if all those kind of things result in a drop in concentration, and when you lose concentration, you can no longer execute 100%. I say tactically we have been doing the same things since the beginning of this tournament, and for the coach to do it in the final, I'm not faulting him, but I agree with his point that Chukwueze shouldn't have started the game. We had Moses Simon. We also had a fit Hinacho. We had other players. We could have switched it up and started the way we started other games. But tactically, we were doing what we did the whole of the tournament. So we couldn't execute over two halves. The same tactics we have been executing. It's not luck. There's luck in football. But if you set out to do a particular thing, you have to do it 100%. And we have been doing it the whole of the tournament. But I feel like sometimes you have to switch it up, right? And so in that second half, as soon as we came in, if you pull out Chukwueze, I expect that bringing on Moses Simon, you also remove Nwobi immediately to show up the midfield. But also, you could simply switch it back to a 4-4-2 so that we don't have to contain the opponent anymore. We can face up to them. And you take up Zaidu, and Bassi moves to the left wing, and you bring another attacking player. That way, you prevent both the left back and the right back from coming, because we also have people that have kept them busy. So, but it's football. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. And I feel like the coach said, I'm going to play this tactics this whole tournament, and he kept to his word. So sometimes, that's what football is about.
Yeah. So Ahmed, you made mention of lack of concentration.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come to you, Mimiko. So in the game, we saw Stanley Nwabali around the 60th minute. He was trying to waste time, right? Do you think the gravity or the intensity of the game got to some of those players? Maybe some of the players, like Stanley Nwabali, for instance, he has less than 8 caps for the Super Eagles, right? So do you think some of the players, maybe the Frank, Tank, and some of those players who have less than 20, 30 caps for the Super Eagles, do you think this game was overwhelming for them?
Maybe or maybe not. Football is a game of 90 minutes. You understand? And after 90 minutes, anything can happen. I expected them to, to be professional. Do you understand? Throughout the game, but a little bit of arrogance probably started getting into their head, because I don't know why it's flaring up over nothing, and that could be an instrument for the opponent to use against you. Do you understand?
Maybe the goal, I think I would fault him for the goal.
Yeah, the goal is actually his fault,
Yeah, because he came out and then hesitated.
100%. You see, that is why they are top players in the world, and that is why they are regular players. That's why they are standard players. You see, a top player would not lose concentration. Same thing happened in 2014 World Cup. Do you understand? So this is where quality comes in, professionalism comes in, concentration 100% comes in. Who wants it more? The desire for the cup. Do you understand? So I'm speechless right now. I'm speechless because actually I didn't expect them to get to this stage, but after getting to this stage, I expected more from them. So also the midfield. If you are going to a tournament, carry competent midfielders, not 3.5, 2.5 that you are carrying. Do you understand? We can see it now. This game was all about midfield. The coach went in second half and said, look, we can't break their defense line. Let's control the midfield and shoot. Pulling across, they will commit. Simple as that. The second half, they had I think three shots straight away. Do you understand? That is a coach that does his assignment and the one that does not do his assignment. If we had midfield options, I'm telling you the fact that this second half would not be a game like this. See Iwobi, see Onyeka. You are using a two-man midfield against three strong men. You see that Seri, that Fofana and Kese. They are not ordinary. They are experienced. They played in at least top 5 leagues in Europe. Do you understand? So, and these guys play consistently. So again, the home advantage too also played in it. The spirit,
even the officiating,
so the desire for the game. I think this is going to be a great lesson for them. But tactically, our coach needs to do more.
Okay, so I'm going to stay with you there, right? Because I know you've never liked Jose Peseiro, right? So my question to you now is, where do we go from here? You know that Peseiro had a clause in his contract, get this team to the semi-finals, or you are gone. So where do you go? Where do we go from here?
See, honestly, personally for me, from the one he got the job, he was not the right man for Eagles.
But he got us to the final, man.
Yeah, he got us to the final. I would say I'll give it to the players. I don't give it to the coach, because if South African players were professional players that plays abroad, that have the kind of exposure our players have, first half we're not talking about Nigeria going back. Do you understand? So these players, if you see a coach or a team that tactically they know what they are doing, these Eagles will be gone. They will be gone within a second. Tactically, Peseiro is not the man. Do you understand?
But he got us to the final.
Yeah,
I don't think Ahmed is shaking his head. Ahmed, do you agree?
Players can get you to the final. Di Matteo, Champions League, Chelsea. They can get you to the final. But if these players are out of ideas, where do you come in? Where do you show your quality as a coach? What do you do? How do you react? What do you say? How do you inspire these guys? Do you understand? So, for me, if he can qualify us to the World Cup, maybe he should stay. But going forward, I think the World Cup qualification should be his biggest goal right now. If he doesn't do that, they should kick him out.
You agree that they should keep him?
They should keep him right now. They should keep him right now. Then if he doesn't achieve
because he has met his target.
Yes, they should keep him right now. But if he doesn't achieve,
we can't afford to play without World Cup. I'm going to come to you because I know you've been nodding your head, Ahmed. Do you agree that we should keep Jose Peseiro?
I think we should, because we have been doing this pure water approach to coaches coming to our teams and sacking coaches if they don't do this. You have to keep a coach. Look at Senegal. You know, they got the benefit. Leave him there. He will improve, learn his lesson.
But can we afford to take that chance?
AFCON is just 1 year away. Next year is another
AFCON next year.
Exactly. So keep the coach. He knows the team better. He will go out now more confidently to look for people to inject in the team. He mentioned Di Matteo at Chelsea, but forgetting that in that Champions League, Mikel was not playing before Di Matteo took over, and he brought him back because he knew the advantage.
That was just a new coach bounce, right?
Yes. No, it's not a bounce. This guy had played at Chelsea before. He was a Chelsea legend. And he knew that Mikel was the stability we needed in that midfield. He came back, told him that we needed you here. In the recent podcast, Mikel said it. He said Matteo came to him and said, we needed you in that midfield. And he put him. And I also say again, coaches know what they are doing. Football is a tactical game, and a coach doesn't just go about doing nothing, you know. If you look at the Manchester United Champions League final against Chelsea 2008, Avram Grant played ACL as a 2. Have we ever played ACL as a 2 at Chelsea before that point? No. So that's a man who didn't know what he was doing. But Pasero knew what he was doing. He's played the same guys, and we've got it to the final because of him. You know.
Okay. So I'll go to. Okay, Daniel, you wanted to say something there.
Yeah. I think for me, right. So if the question is, do we keep him?
Yeah.
I would say yes. Right.
Everybody seems to love Pasero these days.
Let me buttress, why I want to consider that. One differentiating factor of the major coaches in the world, the big coaches that win trophies and do it week in, week out, is strategy, right? An ability to be able to switch things up when you are pushed against the wall. That is where I fault Pesero in this. Because we've gone into this competition
with the same
formation, same tactics, same everything, and we used that from the first game till the final. Yes, we came this far. But there were times, as Mimiko said, we should have gone out in that South Africa game. If that was the World Cup and we played little teams, we will not be talking about this today.
Yeah, because the South Africans had a last minute chance.
Exactly. And even in the first half, they played us. And it's the same thing that we are talking about.
So we can fault the coach for that.
Exactly. A collapse in the midfield, right? You are starting a 5-man defense, which is fine. He worked in the group stage, worked, in the second round and the quarterfinal, but your backs were against the wall. And we're coming into a team where the Ivorian side is one of the best midfields in the tournament. What do? I will expect you to shake things up, right? Try to make 1 or 2 changes. Even a child that watches the AFCON know that we're going to come to the game with that same formation.
And we seem to be very predictable with the changes as well.
Everybody knew that we were going to do that. You had a midfield of Kessie and Fofana, one of the best midfielders in Africa. You know that they will claim the midfield from you. What do you do in that instant? You cannot go, to a gunfight with knives. We went with the same midfield that we've been complaining about, and we can see the outcome. I will say that the team as a whole, right, has good momentum. We are a fairly young team, and there's a lot of unity between the team. So breaking up the coaching staff now and the team might be a bit chaotic, right? Okay. But what is resonant in my mind is, for you to be a great coach, you cannot have one strategy. Something needs to change. Something needs to give.
So it looks like Pesero also needs to improve.
He needs to improve. There's a lot of work to be done.
Okay, so I'll come to you, Olu. So now I know we have to go back to the drawing board, like we always do every AFCON. But now we are in the World Cup qualifiers, right? We had a draw against Lesotho. We had a draw against Zimbabwe. South Africa, they are in our group. And we need to go to the World Cup. Mexico, USA, and Canada. That's the big one. Yeah. So do you think Pesero can take us to the World Cup?
I think Pesero has the capability to do that. And you can sort of see from, his sort of recommendation from his friends and someone like Murillo for Murillo to speak well of you, I would say that it speaks to a certain level. It means that you can deliver. I think one of the credits I would like to give to Pesero for this tournament is that I think he's been able to come up with a formation that works for us. You see that 5-man defense.
Because of the quality of defenders.
Of the qualities. Well, I think the challenge he has with that formation is that he doesn't have like-for-like players.
But
right?
We have a few boys that can.
We do have a few boys.
The Tosins, get them to come in.
Yes, the Darabi or the Fulham boy. Yeah, but the problem is you don't have people who can swap out for the players who form that key formation.
Maybe you mean the CBs. Or which position exactly are you
So I'm talking about someone like Aino. So for instance, I feel Aino was fatigued for that game. Yeah, the midfield
can easily fill in for that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's about people who have the same level of,
Osai is quite good.
Yeah, Osai, and he made a difference against the South African game. But again, I feel like that South African game, as Daniel rightly said,
we're lucky.
It could have gone horribly wrong. So again, I believe Pesero has the capability to take us to the World Cup.
Improvements.
But he needs to do a bit of work. Who says Anaino cannot play a midfielder 10? I mean, he's creative. He's able to use his left and his right legs. Why not? I think Pesero needs to experiment more with the crop of players he has now.
How about you? Do you share that opinion? Jose Pesero, do you think we should keep him? You didn't vex.
I think he should just learn from this. Okay. I think one of us said he came in with a strategy. The strategy wasn't working. He would have easily switched or made some changes. Fine, 5 defenders worked, but he would have made a simple switch. Maybe remove a midfielder, remove a defender, put in a midfielder, and they just shake up that midfield with Fofana and Kessie. So I think he should have learned his lesson. I'm of the opinion he can stay for the World Cup qualifiers. He has understood the team to an extent. It's different when you play friendly matches compared to when you play a competition. So now he has played a competition with the team. He understands the way they react to pressure. So a friendly match, you can swap up the whole team and put someone else, and you don't care about the results. But now he understands how they react to pressure. So I think he should just learn his lessons from the mistakes, or from this mistake he made, because this was a big mistake he made during this game. Like I think one of us said also, everyone knew he was going to play that formation. We're very predictable. So I think he should learn that and learn how to be spontaneous.
To change things around
if
a bit.
Mourinho gave a good word for him, I understand why, because this guy was packing the bus. This guy did a Mourinho on us today. He was packing the bus when it was 0-0 in the final.
Daniel said, I think it was Olu that said that. We've played like that all tournaments.
Yeah, but we were losing a game. You would have easily switched it up immediately. They scored the second goal. He had to wait till like maybe the 85th or 86th minute before he brought in a second striker. I even saw him removing Osimhen to bring in Murphy. I'm like, what's going on here? You're removing a striker when you're losing. So, but God helped him, spoke to him, and he left Osimhen and brought in a second striker. So, boy, it was already late. The deed was done, and the home advantage. The crowd was against us. So. But
yes. Yeah. So it looks like it's a consensus for us. Jose Pastero should stay, right? So
for now.
So hopefully we get to qualify for the World Cup. And again, we have AFCON next year. There's going to be AFCON 2024 June in Morocco next year. Hopefully we can galvanize this team and we can do it again in AFCON. We can use that hashtag again to go for AFCON 2024. Thank you very much, guys, for giving us your thoughts about the game. I know everyone is sad right now. I know there's no excitement on your faces, but again, it's football. You learn, right? So hopefully this team is able to learn and we do better next year. All right, it's been nice talking to everyone. Have a great day, everyone.
Really disappointed. I had hope. I just really wanted something to be happy for in the midst of everything going on right now in Nigeria. But I mean, second place is not so bad, but it would have still been better to be the winner.
It was a disappointing game. Poor outing by the team. We came this far from the first game up until this point and just threw it away.
Just to be beaten by best loser.
Exactly. The best losers. We expected better from the boys.
The whole Africa.
I don't understand the team selection, because you had a squad that was working for you from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you got to the final, you took away Simon and you brought Chukwueze. Zero contribution. Midfield was missing. Listen, it was a disappointing outing and we are all heartbroken. In fact, because of this loss now, Valentine's Day has been cancelled.
Yeah. So, not gifts for anybody. It has been cancelled.
So no Valentine. There's no Valentine this year because of this loss. No Valentine.